Greetings everyone, and Grid here with another Advanced Wars, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as the green Hawke, we got SylerSK. Spawn on the north side as the red Brenner, we got a foreign name. When it comes to COs, Brenner's course nerf from the Cartridge counterpart has 50% boarding cost, 3 radius, standard CO zone expansion. Actually no, not standard because he only has 1 level expansion. At 60 maxed out expansion, standard maximum energy. Direct units in the CO zone gets plus 10% offense, 30% defense. All direct units, no indirect units. And of course his CO power does give him plus 3 healing. Hawke is technically a custom CO in Days of Ruin. Has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 70, 120, with max energy 120. He does have a CO zone of providing plus 10% offense, plus 10% defense. Energy for his power is actually cheaper, 50 rather than 60 energy. It does provide the black wave effect, or plus 1 damage and plus 1 healing. And got the black storm effect at 100 energy with plus 2 healing and minus 2 health. However, 120 energy, which means is smaller than 120, and you do keep all power charge over the power and superpower, so he can get a bit of overcharge to help him chain powers and or superpowers. Generally, it feels like since both the power and superpower are geometrically equal, it's probably generally a good idea to go for powers over repeatedly. However, sometimes you just get a lot of power charge and go for the superpower. Additionally, it all depends on what units get played in, but I generally have more bias towards Black Wave rather than Black Storm for Hawke. Either way, let's go and get started. This map is a double base map, one airport map. There is a radar station here, and looks like there's no comm tower on this map. There are a pair of cities in the corners that require a transport kit there. Transport via keycopter. And both players do start out with a captured temporary airport. The temporary airports do provide hideability for both air and ground, so you can keep your battlecopters, dusters, and other aircraft both not only repaired, refueled, and as well, but you can also keep them hidden, which is a bit of a rarity when it comes to tiles in this map, or on tiles in Days of Ruin. Because by default, air units do not have hideability in most tiles. Such as you see the ruins here, hideable units ground, but no air. And we do have a bike here, got a double bike up here. This map is quite large diagonally, but it's also very congested. You don't have a whole lot of room to maneuver, and there's plenty of hiding spots on this map, so you just have to be very careful. Airport is a bit forward, so battlecopter's easier deployment. There's also a seaport here, which of course can give you access to various ships, and since these are all reefs, ocean tiles, as well as some reef, or a reef for hiding. Hideable units only naval, by the way, so no air units. Air units cannot hide in reefs. You can use some blue water ships, such as battleships, to provide some fire support, but of course blue water ships are quite expensive. Got a tank infantry unit there. We may see a CO tank down here relatively soon. Anti-air infantry. And it looks like Brenner's going to be capturing the radar station. Cities by default only has 2 defense stars. Radar stations does provide 3 defense stars, and they do provide income. We do now have a CO tank here for Brenner. On top of road, right now has plus 30, plus 50. And now Hawke deployed out his CO unit from the tank on top of the HQ. capture the radar stations. Radar stations do provide a decent amount of vision. Of course, they don't spot through hideable terrains. And do now have a artillery and flare. Flares have the circling high machine gun capability. Hawke should probably get a shot there on that recon. Oh, man's a one shot as well. I don't know what percent chance of it is a Hawke command tank, so it does get an extra firepower. Probably shouldn't be too surprised. Plus 40% firepower is quite significant. Versus only plus 20% defense. Hawke's at 10 energy at the moment. And Brenner does make some good grabs down south. Got an anti-air in the middle. No, and we do have a battle copter for Hawke as well. He went for our battle copter artillery infantry. Double tank by Brenner. No battle copters just yet. Good shot there. And there, getting up to 26 energy. We've got a tank here, but if we push forward, it will be retaliated upon. It would be a good idea not to push forward that tank. Battlecopter artillery infantry again. Oh, gets trapped there. Brenner's coming at 20 energy. Battlecopter bike tank. It's a good shot there. Interrupts the capture. Medium tank. So Hawke is eyeing for some heavy armor. He does have an artillery piece here. He is lacking armor in some of the map at the moment, so that'll help us stabilize versus the command tank. Though there are battlecruisers nearby. And I don't see any anti-airs in the middle of the map, do I? Yeah, it looks like Brenner's really lacking anti-air right now, doesn't he? He only has one battlecopter for effective anti-air, which is not going to be great. Hawke does have two battlecopters right now. That one will not get shut off. Command tank just gets into ruins there. Provides only 1-star defense, but is hideable terrain. Gets +1 CO zone radius and trying to flip a city. Tank, and T-copter. So far has gone for T-copters, trying to capture those cities in the corner. Anti-air does take a bit of a beating, which is still needed to take on the battlecopter, but Hawke has battlecopters in the range there. Does spot the command tank there. Battlecopter. Medium tank. Not enough for a infantry there. Has 1400 rather than 1500. The monster. Trying to flip the radar station. Gets a good shot there. Battlecopter's on temporary airport, so it was hidden there. And Brenner and Hawke does not see any anti-air over there. So since the battlecopter that direction, probably should send this battlecopter strike that one. Could have got a booster strike there. Maybe sack the anti-air onto it. I think he could have done a little bit better with the CO zone. Really should be striking the battlecopter in my opinion. Did want to get a strike on the Brenner's command tank there. Hawke has enough for his power. And Brenner can bring a superpower. You know, it's been a while since I've seen a Brenner superpower. His primary tank is pretty wounded. There's a lot of wounded units on the map. I think it's a good idea to pop the superpower this turn for Brenner. Taking some damage there is actually a good idea. Get some health restoration. Pulls back that tank there. Battlecopter there. You have to use his command to take that out, but that'll sack his superpower. Oh, nope, there was that infantry unit that's in range. I think he should pull back and pop the superpower. He's not going to get much more chance to really get a successful one. He only gets one less radius. Yeah, I think he should go for a superpower at the end of the turn. Oh, he does not pop it. I disagree with that. There's a lot of wounded units there. This is probably the most time you will ever get value from a Brenner superpower. Battlecopter, anti-air infantry. And reducing the CO zone by 1 radius is not important. 3 versus 4 is nice, but nothing critical. Battlecopter scouted up north, nothing there. So all the corner properties are still despicably neutral. Battlecopter, mech, and tank. Layered fire, spot stuff. And does not pop a superpower this turn either. Right now has plus 68 defense after all the health reduction, and Beyond the Forest for increased defense. T-Copter infantry medium tank. Takes out the T-Copter there. Good strike there. A lot of damage across the board. Takes off some of these units there. Takes out the wounded tank there as well. Hawke's a value of 121 on the field, or so day to day. Good strike there. Oh yeah, also the superpower, let's see, out of curiosity, all units. So I was wondering, does it only affect direct units for the superpower? I'm wondering superpower, is he trying to get some damage from his own units? There it goes. I am curious about the, goes from 103 to 120. So it does get 17,000 funds recovered, so effectively 1 turn income, which I think could have been higher if he would have popped it earlier. Of course, now he does have a good amount of defense available globally to help him push forward and help prevent the retaliation. Battlecopter anti-air base skip. Hawks was 107. Of course, day-to-day funds are pretty even. The more it takes the Battlecopter, the extra defense was not enough. Plus, Hawke has extra offense. And we've got Hawke now has access to his power. He could pop it. It does decide to pop it there, because not much he can do with the medium tank right at that turn, so might as well pop it, get extra defense globally and damage globally, and also that damage permanent, because Brenner already popped his power. And Hawke does retain 23 energy for his next power, which he could get next turn as well. Of course, that would be expending 2 turns with a medium tank. Probably a good idea to be a bit more aggressive with that medium tank than defensive, trying to pop healing. It's a tank, not a healer. It's also a DPS, not a healer. Battlecopter tank, and of course, Hawke does have a pair of artilleries back there. Trucks to capture a little bit further. Good shots there. Battlecopter gets a good shot there on the tank. He has access to another power, exactly 50 energy. Infantry units at full health at the moment. Does fire off a flare there. Battlecopter falls back to temporary report. 2 of Battlecopter can't really do too much. from this duster nearby. It looks like Brenner's in retreat, trying to get a better defensive position. Right now, Brenner's at 29 energy. Hawke's turn. He can pop the power this turn. Decides not to. Takes out the flare there. Battlecopter tank bike. Artillery falls back, causes a wounded artillery unit there. Gets an easy strike on that duster. Brenner does still have a good number of battlecopters in the field, so that duster taking damage is actually quite important. It may need to be tasked into the temporary airport itself. The 4 health duster after a power won't be super useful either. Oh, this get trapped there. That's actually pretty bad. Could have scouted that out with a little bit more foresight. Hawke's at 84 energy. Could possibly get a superpower this turn, but don't think it's likely. Brenner right now has 105 in the field. Hawke still has 147 with 20,000 in the bank. Does pop the power right there. Putting Brenner down to 85 now. Tank, bike, battlecopter. Brenner could get his superpower this turn, which may be a good idea to pop to get some recovery of funds. Does pull back his seal unit without popping it. I think he should have popped it this turn. There's a lot of wounded stuff that could greatly benefit from the restoration of 3 health. That means tank will go down to the artillery, especially when without the defense or the health restoration. A lot of things getting hit pretty hard there. It does lose some units there. I think he really should have popped the power there. Getting hit pretty hard there. He has enough battlecopters, but he is starting to lose a decent number of them. Hawke's almost enough for another power. Probably next time he will probably deploy out another one. Anti-tank, flare, battlecopter. Got this tank and double infantry there. You can of course take damage then pop the power. Pops it right there. I am curious. Went from 68 to 83, so got 15,000 restoration there. Gets a couple good picks on battlecopters. Another strike there on the battlecopter. Infantry takes a shot there against the battlecopter. Instead of 96, Hawke's turn 129. Went for a battlecopter in here. Hawke's duster may need to is out of ammo, so needs to fall back to the temporary airport. It's also pretty low in health as well. A black wave would also help out with his health. Not necessarily with ammo though. Does pop the power there. Duster, tank, mech. Insert for 155. Brenner's at 64, and hits resign there. That's Grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.